Yo, mic check, 1, 2. We are here. Welcome, everybody. You are watching Quest Convo, where we talk the culture because we are the culture. I'm your favorite hip hop connoisseur, Drew Soul Quest.
And it's your boy Von Schuler one time.
Oh, yeah. Damn, I'm still getting used to the Von Schuler.
It ain't nothing to get used to, man. It's same dude, just different name. You know, some nigga in England had to ruin it, but it's all good.
So did, man. So did. But we here, as usual, man, doing what we do, talking our shit, navigating y'all through the world of hip hop, putting y'all on, all that good stuff. We appreciate everybody watching. We appreciate all the love. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you are aware when we drop this new content every Friday, 11 a.m. Quest Convo podcast drops on culture73.com, the hip hop network. You'll be able to see it on YouTube. Also, if you can't watch us, you just want to listen, we on Spotify as well. So we all over, man. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. We appreciate all the love. Also, make sure you check out dopesthipHoptees.com. They are cool tees and hoodies made for cool people that love hip hop culture. DopesthipHoptees.com. You can still use that promo code I love hip hop. You can get 20% off all your purchases right now.
We work to work, you late to work, I holla and they send it. You know my pride was colder than Chicago in December.
All right. So, one of the things that I talk about all the time, one of the things I kind of preach, one of the things that the foundation of Culture 73 was founded on was balance in hip hop culture. You know what I'm saying? That's always been something that I stand for, personally, because I'm a true hip hop connoisseur. I listen to everything, old, new, everything in between. But even within my balance, you know what I mean? Everybody has their preference of what they really fuck with. You know what I mean? I might love a whole bunch of Future shit, fuck with it, turn up to it, all that stuff. But overall, I have my preference in hip hop, and that's usually the shit that has the traditional foundation as far as that kind of sound, and the shit that is super lyrical, creative. That's what I'm usually drawn to. To me, that's the true essence of the art form. So my man we got on the pod today, he sent this music and I'm listening to it. I checked out a few of the projects. And then I found myself, I'm like, okay, I ain't skipping none of this shit. You know what I'm saying? You know how hard it is to find a motherfucking project where I ain't skipping through a few? I'm like, I ain't skipping none of this shit. I was like, this guy, he fits the motherfucking criteria. I'm like, he got the sound, he got the flow. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about. So today on Quest Convo on the pod, we want to welcome IAMGAWD, the God MC, representing Chi-Town. How you feeling, fam?
I'm good. I can't complain, won't complain. I appreciate y'all for having me. I appreciate motherfucker for tapping in with the music. Gratitude is always attitude. Happy to be here.
For sure, man.
Yes,
We
sir.
glad to have you here too, man. For sure, man. Uh, like I said, we always about the balance. We always want to get, our community and our audience familiar with people that really represent the culture. You know what I mean? That's what we about, man.
Absolutely.
When it comes to Chicago, currently at least, to me, back in the day, it seemed like it was a little bit different. Like, keep in mind, like, I'm from Gary, you know what I mean? So, Gary, 20 minutes away, nigga, I stayed in Chicago. I had people over there. was over there, over here. Shit is a shorty doing all kind of bullshit I wasn't supposed to do. Nigga, I'm in the projects and Robert Taylor before they tore down. I'm familiar with Chicago.
Shout out to
So
Taylor's, man.
for sure. So it's like currently the way I be feeling about it is, the whole Chirac narrative that the media pushes. I feel like when it comes to music, I feel like that's one of the main reasons why a lot of artists don't get they shine because of that Chirac narrative. It's only like artists like your Keiths and Dirks and all that stuff that really get that true shine. But if you, a connoisseur like myself, man, I know Chicago, bro. Y'all are full of talent, full of creative, some of the dopest motherfuckers in the game, man. So I just
Absolutely,
wanted to,
bro.
yeah. How you feel about that?
I agree, 199%. Goddamn it, because again, just like how you said, we romanticize bullshit. And I mean, when I say we, I mean the people, us. We romanticize gangster shit. It's been that way for a long fucking time. So it's not surprising to me the level of viewership this drill shit has gotten, you know what I'm saying, over the years, you know what I'm saying, and how big it's got, you know what I'm saying, and it spread it out to the UK, New York got their hands all over it now, you know what I'm saying, but with it starting in Chicago, I think the difference between everywhere else, this shit, as fucked up as it sounds, this shit came organically, the drill shit I'm speaking about, you know what I'm saying, It was just a product of the bullshit going on in the streets, you know what I'm saying, with these shorties, you know what I'm saying, so it is what it is. Like years ago, I would have been salty about it, you know what I'm saying, had my love feelings about the shit, but I'm an older artist, I'm an older MC, I'm 36, you know what I'm saying? I understand that shit is what it's gonna be. And if you can't change it, you just gotta learn to either work around it or work within it. And I chose to work around it. Drill is not my thing, you know what I'm saying? I respect it because it comes from a real place, but I don't respect it in the sense that I listen to the shit. I ain't gonna lie, like I bop to the shit because, even with me not living inside city limits no more, like I'm right outside of Chicago, but even with me not living in city limits no more, I understand where that shit is coming from. And I understand it's coming from a real place. So a motherfucker might call me a hypocrite because I could easily listen to some throwback Styles P and I could quote the song Shoot 'em in the Head word for word. But I ain't from Yonkers. You know what I'm saying? I don't have Yonkers local news. I don't know who was the last nigga to get his shit knocked off. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. With me, that end of it is just rapping entertainment. On this other end of it with the Chicago drill shit, I'm too privy to a lot of this shit. And even though it might not affect me personally, it's still affecting me because it's so close. You know what I'm saying? And I could see myself in some of those situations as a shorty. You know what I'm saying? But as far as making music, like, I'm past that level of feeling a certain type of way. You just gotta do what you know how to do, what you choose to do, and keep shit pushing. You know what I'm saying? Point blank period.
Definitely.
100%. Do you think that type of music it kind of reduces Chicago level music? Does it make it harder for somebody such as yourself, other artists who are in your lane to get their point across or to get out there into the media and to do their thing?
Absolutely. But at the same time, it's up to us to continue to just go that much harder. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to use it as no crutch. I don't want to use it as an excuse. I'm not going to sit here and cry about it. But to answer your question, yes. You know what I'm saying? But Chicago always been one of them cities to where we want to stay attached to what's mainstream, to what's popular. You know what I'm saying? It's not a lot of motherfuckers out here championing the type of music that I make. And that's fine with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not looking for another grown man to put me as a grown man on a pedestal and yell my name to the world. It's just unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? So it's just gonna make me work that much harder to get where I'm trying to go. Because if you want it bad enough, ain't no excuses. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no excuses in this shit. Like, I knew what it was when I came back to rap because I quit like around 2016, called myself quitting. You know what I'm saying? And I came back late 2019. So I had already conditioned myself and prepared myself mentally to know what it was coming back into this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I already knew, you know what I'm saying, before I left. You know what I'm saying? I knew what it was. But just to come back and be able to deal with it, not make no motherfucking excuses, and to stay 10 toes down and put my best foot forward every time. And regardless of what type of obstacles may present themselves, either work within them or work around them. Or you got the occasional situations where you can go through them motherfuckers and just force your way through some shit. But you just got to make do with what it is that you got. You know what I'm saying? And that's the mind state that I carry within this shit.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I appreciate the transparency with I know you was putting it out there like you an older MC. So once upon a time in a former life, I was an MC myself.
Okay.
And part of why I did stop, now half of it was, or probably more than half of it was because I wanted to, move forward with this media shit that I'm doing now. You know what I mean? Part of it was that. Part of it was a little bit of ageism, because we know it's a such thing as ageism in hip hop. You've been hearing that shit for years. It's a young man sport, all those different things. I want to point out, for one, I like so Charlemagne. He said, he made a statement, and he was like, he was referring to artists like Pusha T, different people like that. He was like, this shit is like adult contemporary trap music. And I was like, I heard that shit. It just resonated with me so much. I was like, yeah, you need to coin that shit, because that's exactly what it is. Like, hip hop is going to be 50 years old next year. So we just kind of really getting past our first generation of hip hop, first generation of hip hop artists. So it's like,
absolutely,
niggas that's late 30s, 40s, 50s, and all that shit, they was raised up through this shit. So if you love it, you just don't stop loving it just because you older. You know what I mean? If you love it, you love it. Another thing too, I almost feel like, they always refer to the golden era of hip hop in, late 90s, early 2000s with your Jays, Nas, Biggs, niggas like that. I kind of feel like we on a wave almost to like a new golden era, because people like yourself, people like Push, Styles P, Griselda, Rock Marciano, Flea Lord, all these motherfuckers are late 30s, in their 40s, and they the top niggas in the game. Like, at the end of the day, regardless of what the fucking charts is saying, what the mainstream is saying, what the radio is saying, these are the top niggas in the game lyrically. Motherfuckers can't fuck with them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm loving to see that narrative actually starting to change, where, okay, it's something for everybody. Now, if you 19, 18, you may not fuck with my shit. You may not like it. But guess what? There's an audience for everybody. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I try to push the balance. It's like, I don't want the young niggas, even though I talk my shit, when I do, I don't want the young niggas hating on the old, vice versa, and all that shit, because it's an audience and it's a place for everybody in hip hop. A 39-year-old nigga should not have the same mentality and likes as a 20-year-old nigga. If you do, you ain't growing, you ain't progressing in life in this motherfucker. You know what I mean? So yeah. But at the same time, as an older nigga, I can relate, because I remember when I was 19 and 20 and straight on my bullshit and doing bullshit in the streets and everything else, and motherfucker couldn't tell me shit. So I understand, I relate, so, but I'm just definitely, yeah.
I agree with that. Just me being the youngest out of the three right here. It is though, that relation. I think the older cats, not all of them, but I think more of them need to kind of open up in that sense that what Soul was talking about. Just in the sense of being able to relate and remember, that you was that age, you was the 21, you was the 25, because I think what a problem is for us young cats. It seemed like a lot of older people or older dudes will try to speak to us, and they speak to us as if they don't remember that they was the age that we are now. They speak as if they was never young and wasn't on the trailer. They just straight authoritarian, straight. Well, I'm 40 now, so it's almost like the 20-year-old them never existed or something like that. And I think that they kind of got to open their minds. Because I mean, obviously you're going to be older a lot longer in life than you're going to be young, but still, you can't be so far removed from that you don't remember that, you was young and you did your same amount of BS that that other niggas was dealing with, you know, in this time period now. So I think that open-mindedness need to kind of come back, you know, especially going forward for this golden age to fully become realized.
I agree with that. I think sometimes, you know, because I had this shit. I was an old head before I was even older. You know what I'm saying? Like I just had that. Like when Jeezy first came out, I hated bro. I hated Jeezy
Oh
when he first
shit.
came out, bro. Like because it was such a drastic shift. You know what I'm saying? From what me and my guys, because it's like I feel like he kind of took my guys away from me musically. It's kind of like we used to vibe out to the same shit, and it was the hardcore lyrical shit. You know what I'm saying? And then out of nowhere, it just feel like Jeezy came out and everybody was rocking that. And you know, at that time, I'm like 20 something. You know what I'm saying? I'm early, even if I'm 20 at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm probably right out of high school, so like 18, 19, barely 20. So you know what I'm saying? Like that shit was like it just sounded different because he was when I first heard him, I'm like, bro, he ain't even saying shit. He all ad libs. You know what I'm saying? Like, how's y'all really, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, how's y'all really jacking this shit, bro? Like, for what we come from listening to Kiss, Nas, The Locks, you know what I'm saying? Jay, shit like that, Big Pop. Like, how the fuck we go from that to that, like overnight? But you know, I used to vocally trash a lot of shit, and it was like, I just had to mature mentally. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing about older niggas, I feel like even if we don't like it, we gotta find ways not to shit on it. Now, niggas gonna talk they shit. We come from gunning motherfuckers in the lunchroom, just if that's what the fuck we was doing on the block, just talking shit. We come from that. So that's always gonna be a part of it. I just
Facts.
feel like it's room for improvement on both sides. It's definitely room for improvement on both sides. I feel like these shorties can't be so brash. And the thing about it is, it's kind of like with the NBA, right? You got motherfuckers getting. I think this motherfucker Nikola Jokic just signed like for 275 million for like 5 years. Like
Yeah.
Woo.
I could see how that would make a motherfucker from like the 60s or the 70s or the 80s and even the 90s, even the early 2000s, kind of mad. Like, damn, like this league soft as hell. Like I wasn't lucky enough to be in that position, but you can't let it make you bitter. It's human emotion to have that type of emotion. So I understand that. I don't blame a nigga for feeling that way. But that man come in when, you know what I'm saying, you able to like check that shit at the door and you not spewing it all over publicly and just like blatantly disrespecting a motherfucker. And sometimes the shorties, they come into these situations with this money, you know what I'm saying, and they come so fast and they feel like they don't need to know shit from the past. And it's not about being fans of a Biggie or a Pac or whoever the case may be, but it's like you just need to know that motherfuckers is the reason why you able to be here and do this shit right now at the level you doing it at. And on the flip side of that, with the older niggas, you have to understand that a lot of these niggas ain't even fully mentally developed yet. You know what I'm saying? And when you give a motherfucker so young a whole bunch of opportunity, a whole bunch of money, a whole bunch of whatever the fuck they want is at their fingertips, niggas gonna go crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Niggas gonna go crazy because we was doing the same shit. If you was lucky enough to have some money and you ain't had that particular structure of guidance, you was jagging a lot of money, bro. You was doing a lot of goofy shit. You know what I'm saying? We seen it. Some of us done it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's room for improvement on both sides. But I feel like as the older motherfuckers, like we have to take certain shit on the chin and be a little more understanding because these is still shorties out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna get into it with no shorty, just like I'm not finna get into it with a woman that ain't mine. Like I'm not finna give a shorty that time of day. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna allow myself to get to that point to where I need to disrespect you. I need to come at you a type of way. It's a certain type of way that motherfuckers could reach out to these shorties and let them know what it is and what it ain't. You know what I'm saying? But you know, like these is young boys becoming men themselves, and we ain't want nobody telling us shit. So we got to remember that. And I think a lot of to touch on what you was just speaking on, bro. Like I think a lot of that the not having the right tone when you reaching out or when you talking to these shorties is kind of like for some of us, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm, you know what I'm saying. This shit is on me too. It's the fact that we don't want some of the shorties to have to go through some of the shit we did. So we looking at y'all from the late 30, 40-year-old mindset, and it can come across like motherfuckers forgot about their 20s. It's just because, like, I know me, like, I'll put it to you like this. I was a self-proclaimed bitch ass nigga, just off how I used to move. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to recognize your fallacies and your faults in order to become a better individual. You know what I'm saying? Because if you think your shit don't stink, then you ain't got nothing to improve on. So I had to recognize a bunch of the bullshit that I was on, a bunch of the silly goof ass shit that I was on. And I had to come to terms with that, whether you want to or not. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we look at ourselves in a light that we don't necessarily shine in. We're not there yet. We might want to be there, but we ain't there yet. You know what I'm saying? So I think that tone can come across fucked up. And it seems like we forget where we've been and where we came from, because I think we expect too much from shorty sometimes. Like, I got 2 boys, and it's kind of like sometimes I expect them to just know certain shit. And I have to remember, like, bro, your own common sense didn't kick in until you was like 17, 18 out this motherfucker. You was running around doing a bunch of knucklehead shit. So it's like, you can't expect them to be on a 36-year-old man's level because you've been through it and now you passed it. It just don't work like that. They're going to make their mistakes. They're going to fuck up. You can continue to guide them, and you might have to tell them motherfucker a million times, but eventually they gonna get through it. So I think it's a lot of that shit is not wanting to see motherfuckers have to suffer the same things we suffer, to go through the same shit that we went through. But again, we gotta being an older dudes, you know what I'm saying, we gotta learn how to just come off the right way. You know what I'm saying? Because these not our kids, these not our shorties. And as much as I hate to regret it, that era of where you could come at a shorty like that as a grown man is kind of over. I feel like my generation was the last generation of the block putting their hands on you, then bringing you to your mama. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
I think that shit dead, and I don't think it's ever coming back. So we can't treat all these shorties like they our own sons. You know what I'm saying? We can't really come down on them like that, because now it's something different. You know what I'm saying? So it's room for improvement on both sides.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely that's a game though. That's all that shit. That's definitely some good game right there. Yeah, you ain't lying about that. The sense of that whole, like you say, community, where back in the day, old ass Mr. Jenkins on the block could check your ass, like you say, take you home and tell your mama, and yeah, all that shit's done. These little niggas will try to fight you, shoot you,
all types of shit.
all that
And
shit.
I misspoke. I said I was the last generation of shorties that the whole block will put their hands on you. I misspoke. I'm actually first generation, the way I look at it. First generation of don't touch my son, don't touch my child. That's what I meant to say. I think my mama and her peers was the last generation of the whole block could beat your ass.
Yeah.
I missed that by like this much. You know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers will still check you. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Leclerc Courts. I'm from Leclerc Courts. You know what I'm saying? 44th and Sister Road, 45th and Lacrosse, all that shit. Right off the Stevenson Expressway. They took them down in like 09, like little 2-story brown row houses and shit. Southwest side. But we had the older lady in the neighborhood, the Jehovah Witness, in everybody room, in everybody business. Rest in peace, Miss Abby. We had the black-owned corner store. Rest in peace, Miss Simmons. Shout out the whole Simmons family. You know, we had the recreational community center where they would come get you from the neighborhood, grammar school, after school, walk you back single file to the rec center. Shout out Brenda Alfred, shout out Jack, wherever you at, the whole staff, Rochelle McGee, everybody that used to work over there. You know what I'm saying? We had that. We had the after school community centers to where, you know, if OG is still at work, or if, you know what I'm saying, Pops ain't around or whatever, you can go there after school and you can still learn and you can have fun and associate with other kids in the community. We had that. But I feel like I'm first generation don't touch my child. And I've seen a lot of my peers suffer from that, because as motherfuckers got older, they didn't have that. They didn't have that fear of retribution from the older folks. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, I feel like I'm last generation of actual black community, bro. I don't feel like it's no more black communities. I feel like it's just communities of black motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's scratching and clawing, fighting for the same shit, for the same spaces, for the same resources. And it's fucked up. I mean, it's still little pockets of the shit, but you see that mostly with like the neighborhoods that got like big families. You know what I'm saying? Because it's still family oriented. You know what I'm saying? If that hood is lacking one of those big ass families, you don't really see that shit that much. I don't think there's no more black community left. I think it's just communities of black people. You know what I'm saying?
1,000%.
Man, I feel you. It's sad though, because it would be a better situation outside if that was still the case. It would definitely be a better situation. Yeah.
Facts.
And to speak on that a little bit, you know, going into what he was saying, yeah, I feel like my generation is kind of like that. I saw it firsthand where it was kind of like just this defiance. You know what I'm saying? Like even if you had people in your life who was trying to tell you right from wrong, you have influences and sources who was trying to show you the right way from wrong. And it was like I just remember just looking at some kids and some people. They was like they just didn't want to listen. They didn't care what was being said. They didn't care about for whatever reason that might have been. I don't know if the upbringing situation might have changed or just the times that we was living in or the mindset or whatever you want to call it, but it just changed. Nobody wanted to listen to nobody no more. Nobody wanted to have to deal with order or have to deal with, like you said, the community. They weren't worried about that. They were just worried about their own thing. And if you trying to keep them from doing their own thing, then you might as well just be some kind of enemy or something like that, because you trying to keep me from doing what I want to do versus trying to listen to what somebody got something for me. So I think that, yeah, it kind of segue right into that early 90s when I was born up into present day.
And one other thing that I try to speak on that we tend to forget about sometimes, it feel like we so far removed from it where we not. Where a lot of these crack babies is grown now. You know what I'm saying? And I don't say that jokingly, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of these shorties who came up in that era, that mid, because I'm a crack era baby. I'm not a crack baby, but I was born 86. That shit had already took its hold. You know what I'm saying? Like, but anywhere from that 86, 87, 88 into them early 90s, not everybody, but a lot of these shorties was unfortunate enough to come up in those type of conditions, bro. And they grown motherfuckers now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's another thing. It's like the remnants. We still dealing with the remnants and the fucking debris of that crack era. Like motherfuckers forget how. And I understand I wasn't in it to where I could remember everything, but just from hearing stories and the little shit that I do remember, fam, shit was fucked up. And some of the conditions that motherfuckers had to grow up in, these niggas grown out, bro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So yeah, man, that's some definitely we starting off with some good game, man. I hope y'all soak some of this up. The community, some of the listeners out there, young and old, soak it up because it's definitely some good game. Kind of moral to the story is, at the end of the day, we all in this shit together, man. Young heads, old heads, all of that, and it's like we got to try to understand each other. The youngins, y'all got to remember, ain't nothing new. All the grinding, all the guns, all the girls, all the money. It ain't nothing new, nigga. We did the same shit. Nothing is new. So it's just like y'all not creating a whole nother something that we've never seen. That's why we're able to give you some insight on it because we was there. We've been there, done that. Y'all ain't creating shit new. The only shit is new is this technology shit. That's it. Everything else, this street shit, it's the same shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, man, getting back into this music, man. Like I said, y'all watching Quest Convo. We got IAMGAWD representing Chi-Town. Y'all hit them up on social media at God MC. So yeah, man. You here today, man, because definitely we want to get our community, Quest Convo pod people, get them familiar with you, man. So take it back to the beginning, man. Who is IAMGAWD? How did you get into hip hop? Influences, all that, man. Tell us your story, bro.
All right, so man, I am God, born Tobias West, 1986. I want to say St. Francis, I believe. Um, actually, you know what I'm saying? My journey began out west, off Cicero and Arkansas. You know what I'm saying? Right off Roosevelt and all that around there.
Mm-hmm.
My granddaddy house, my mother's father, and single mother shit. I'm the oldest of three. Um, we didn't stay there for too long. OG didn't really get along with my grandfather's wife. But shout them out though. Love y'all. And we moved about 15 minutes away up the block, 40, well, up Cicero, 45th and Lacrosse, Leclerc Courts. And musical household. She never, my OG speaking about, she never pursued music, but I can remember she had a beautiful voice. Like my OG had a beautiful voice. She used to do You know what I'm saying? Just sing around the crib. You know, Sunday was the gospel day. You know what I'm saying? So she playing gospel music, she cleaning up. You know what I'm saying? Like singing the gospel shit, and it's like I remember that vividly. So definitely grew up in a musical household. By that time, she had already had my little sister or whatever. She was pregnant with him when we moved to the courts. You know what I'm saying? I would say, yeah, definitely born in a very musical household. It was just her old dude wasn't around. She even taught me my alphabet off notable artists at the time. So she would teach me my shit like A is for Al B. Shore, B is for Bobby Brown, C is for
Oh, that's
Cameo,
dope.
D is
Yeah, it
for
is
DeBarge,
very,
shit
very
like
dope.
that. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So I can remember having like she got me my own vinyl when I was a shorty. You know what I'm saying? Like I had Michael Jackson Bad on vinyl. I can remember used to looking at this shit. The nigga had like 1,000 zippers on this shit. Like this nigga cold as hell. Like this nigga Michael Jackson cold as hell. You know what I'm saying? I also had like I don't know if y'all remember the group. It was this group called The Boys. You know what I'm saying? Like a little singing group. You know what I'm saying? I had one of their joints on vinyl. I was a huge MC Hammer fan. Before I started rapping and shit, I used to dance and shit. Try to sing, but I used to dance as a shorty. I was raw with the pencil too. Like I used to draw and shit. But huge ass MC Hammer fan. I had to like for Christmas. She bought me like the 12-inch like doll and shit. It
I
came with
remember that
the.
shit.
It came. My shit had. Shout out my nigga Pez. His mama bought him one too. His shit had the purple suit on, like the little
Yep.
vest and shit, and the pants and the glasses that come off. And my
Yeah,
shit
for
had like the
sure.
gold suit, like the gold hammer pants with the gold suit, you know, the gold jacket and
Hey,
shit.
to
This
jump
nigga
in
had a
real
this nigga
quick.
had an action figure.
Yes.
Facts. This nigga Hammer
Hey,
had like a 12-inch dog, bro. Like for
to
real. On my
hey,
soul, bro.
to jump in real quick, and I'm gonna let you get right back to your story. Hey, niggas don't be liking to admit that shit. Niggas used to fuck with MC Hammer when he first
Facts.
came out,
It's on
nigga.
my soul, bro.
The pump it up and all that shit, nigga. I used to fuck with MC Hammer. It's just that once we got along a little bit more in rap and we started liking to
Yeah,
start kind of rap and lyrical niggas started kind of shitting on them.
it was over with.
Niggas trying to have to choose sides, but
Right.
niggas used to fuck
Right.
with MC Hammer, nigga. They had
Right.
yes, he was the at the end of the day, people can say what they want about him. Now he fucked off a lot of his money, but that nigga was super rich, super popular worldwide. Dolls, action figures, cartoons, all
Cartoons,
that
I'm about to
shit.
say, bro.
Yeah.
What?
All that. Bro, I
MC
had
Hammer was
the
huge.
yeah, I had that shit on VHS. The cartoon, the nigga, he had the shoes lefty and righty, and they used to talk. And when he threw the motherfuckers on, he'd do like a little whirlwind and turn into MC Hammer and be fucking motherfuckers up with musical notes and shit like
Oh
that. It
shit.
was funny as hell, bro. But
See,
yeah,
you would never know something like that. I would have never known nothing, no shit like this because all he is now is just a damn butt of the joke, punchline
yeah.
ass nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
So
Hammer was
you would never know.
huge, bro.
And
Hey,
Hammer was
I had an
huge.
idea that he was, you know, in his heyday he had something, but
Yeah.
I would just probably look at him as a one hit wonder. The shit y'all saying, I'm like, this nigga was a damn force. What the hell?
hey,
Nah, he definitely was a force. He lasted for some years, and I know he fell off and he made his resurgence with Death Row. I ain't really respect that because I was a little older. Like this nigga went from this to what I love as a shorty. Now he in Speedo, something about pumps in a bump with hanging with Tupac and shit. I'm just like, nah. But unbeknown to me, that nigga come for some gangster shit. I'm a
yeah,
flawed. And it's been
yeah,
stories of many rappers like, yeah, Hammer ran down on me, bro. Like, what's that
Oh
shit you was
yeah.
talking about? You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
hmm
he wasn't no hoe. You know what I'm
right,
saying? It's
yeah,
just that he, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was a reverend. You know what I'm saying? So that's why his music was the way it was, because he wasn't. He could have easily came out on some Too Short or some E40, some gangster shit, being from Oakland when he first came out. But he wanted to do something that was more clean and help his community. So much always salute the Hammer, bro. That motherfucker was a big part of my childhood, and I'm definitely not afraid to admit it.
yeah.
But yeah, man, I had the little Hammer dolls and shit growing up. I can remember as a shorty, you know, Twister, before he was actually Twister, he was Mr. Tongue Twister. He
hmm
performed at my field house. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a little talent show. And you know what I'm saying? I was dancing in it. I was dancing to the crisscross and make you jump, jump.
Oh shit,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Uh-huh. So I did my little shit, me and my homie Marky, shout out Marky. And Twister performed. This was when he had the big ass Queen Latifah hat, the joint she used to wear. He had like the little pick in his nose, like the little nose ring or whatever. And he had the
hmm
leather jacket, cold ass leather jacket with his logo. Back when it used to be the tongue tied up in a knot, you know what I'm saying? When he was tongue twister. So I'm like, I can remember that shit vividly. I'll say my first memorable encounter with hip hop or rap was Tupac, Brenda's Got a Baby, the video. For the longest, it's funny as hell. For the longest, I thought video music box and the box was the same thing. I didn't know video. Shout out Ralph McDaniels. I didn't know video music box was some strictly, like East Coast, tri-state area shit. You know what I'm saying? Because the box was the joint that you just paid. You called the number and paid 99 cents and requested a video. So I confused the box with video music box because it was a video music channel. But
Okay.
yeah, so the box, you know what I'm saying? Brenda's got a baby, excuse me. And black and white video. I'm only 5 years old at the time. This is Tupacalypse now, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm only 5 years old at the time. Black and white video, but I hear him telling the story. And plus I got the video to help me understand everything that I don't catch by ear. And when Shorty is on the floor, and then when they transition to showing her putting was supposed to be the baby in the dumpster, like that shit shook me. I ain't at 5 years old. I ain't never seen, heard, read about no shit like that in my life. But it was so captivating, I couldn't look away. You know what I'm saying? So that shit scared me, but it made me. You know how you scared of some shit, but you still curious. It ain't
Yeah.
scared to the point where you running away from the shit. So that was my first encounter with rap that kind of like drew me in that I could remember. Maybe I heard some other shit. My mama wasn't really into rap. She would play certain types of shit like MC Hammer. MC Hammer was probably my first introduction to rap, but as far as like outside of that, like on some more real shit, you know what I'm saying? It was like Tupac, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that shit kind of fucked me up, but it also kind of like it made me want to like tell stories and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So fast forward some years later, I probably start rapping myself around like 9, 10, garbage, like little shorty shit. Like ain't really talking about school, but I ain't really saying shit. You know what I'm saying? I know it's this nigga. I think this was it sixth grade? So sixth grade, I'm like 12 years old, sixth grade. It was this nigga named Diamond Henson, rest in peace. One of the foes from the hood and shit. He was in our class. He was a little older than us, but he was having trouble in school, so he was a couple grades behind and shit. So I don't know why I did this shit, but I pulled a rap out my pocket and was like, "Hey Diamond, would you listen to this shit?" And I rapped it, and he listened. And the nigga face was like, "Nigga, that shit weak as hell." Bro,
Hell
I'm like,
no.
bro, he just crushed my shit right there and now. I'm like, oh, all right. You know what I'm saying? Put the shit back in my
Oh,
pocket,
shit.
bro. But at the same time, like, I understood because I understood that I'm 12, so I understand this nigga older. He one of the foes, he one of the guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, he a street motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it, you know what I'm saying? I understand why he ain't fucking with it. But it just made me, you know what I'm saying, go harder with my shit to the point to where, like, couple years later, like eighth grade, I'm performing in talent shows. Like, I ain't had shit. You know what I'm saying? I had the little, you know what I'm saying, little beat up ass clothes, whatever, hand me down shit. Like, my mama did what she could for us at the time. So, once I started seeing that cheerleaders was saying hi to me, like females that had never spoke to me, let alone look my way before, you know what I'm saying? Like motherfuckers, like some of the more tougher niggas in school. It's like, they, what's up, bro? Yeah, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh shit, it's the type of shit that shit could get you. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm performing, I'm rapping in assemblies and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that shit just went crazy for me for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I ended up graduating co-salutatorian. You know what I'm saying? Behind two females. One of them was named Dominique Edmondson. Like she graduated valedictorian in my eighth grade class, and Lakedra McBride. She was the other co-salutatorian. So I graduated co-salutatorian with them. Um, yeah, initially went to high school at John Hope College Prep out south, like right in between the Boulevard, Moles on one side, Motown, and got No Love City, the folks, and then you got Inglewood. It's not too far from over there, right off Garfield and shit. And that's why I hone my shit more, because 14 years old, lunchroom table, motherfuckers beating on the table, making the beats, and I'm just reciting all these raps I've been writing. You know what I'm saying? Having a whole motherfucking lunchroom go crazy. Like that shit was a feeling like nothing else I've experienced, because I wasn't really good at shit else. Like I was good academically, you know what I'm saying? I was an A and B student, but like nothing to where my peers like galvanized around me. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Like I couldn't really hoop. I'm only 5'9", so I was never really much of a hooper. I like to play, but I was never really no good at the shit. But rap was it for me, and I found that out early on. So take it from there. I was spending like summers out in Indiana with my cousin. My cousin Ill Flow. Him and his guys had a rap group called The Faction, and they didn't even know I was rapping. You know what I'm saying? So I came out there with them, and I'm around 16 at the time now. So it's this high school shit. So for summers I'll go out there with him, and they had this basement studio, cold stocking studios. It had the actual cold stocking hanging on the motherfucking wall and shit. You know what I'm saying? Real grimy but dope. But they was on some real hip hop shit, like on some Tribe shit, some Black Star shit. You know what I'm saying? Some Reflection Eternal type shit. Wasn't really no gangster shit. You know, they was all like from around the south suburbs, like Dalton, Calumet, shit like that. But they was older now. They was grown ass men, and motherfuckers have migrated to Indiana. So I'm out there with them, and they like, damn, like your ass just come out of nowhere, boy. You cold as hell. Like, where the fuck you been there with this shit all the time? And it's like, at that point in time, I was just like perfecting my craft. Like I've always been a writer. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a writer. Like my influences is the motherfuckers that like Nas, you know what I'm saying? Kiss. At one point in time, Cassidy, Beanie Siegel, of course, Biggie, Tupac, Jay-Z. I don't know if I said Esco, definitely got to throw Nas in there. Shit, M at one point in time, like M when he first came out, them first like 3, 4, 5 years, like I was fucking with M heavy, like immaculate wordplay, supreme technical ability. And then it started stretching out to motherfuckers like Mos Def, Pharoah Monch, and I grew up off street shit because it started with like Twister, Do or Die, Crucial Conflict. You know what I'm saying? Infamous Said to get Sean Latifah. It started there, the local legends. You know what I'm saying? It's like I could see them. You know what I'm saying? So it started with them. Like, but the East Coast opened me up. Like I got a line in one of my joints. I say, they say I got that East Coast flow, fried hard, drowning in mild sauce. That's the perfect way to describe my style. Like it's East Coast as fuck, but it's Chicago at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So East Coast fried hard, drowning in mild sauce. You know what I'm saying? Like I just took the best of both worlds because them niggas taught me how to rap. Like at one point in time, I thought I was Baby Twister, but I used to run around the hood mumbling. But I knew how to mumble to the point to where it sounded like I'm saying something. And like, damn, boy, how the fuck Shorty know this shit? Like, I don't even know this shit. Whole time I ain't saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying a bunch of bullshit. I ain't saying nothing, bro. But it got to the point where I could understand that nigga. Like, I had Adrenaline Rush in like 98. It came out in 97. I lost that shit like 3 or 4 times. Like, motherfuckers taking it from me, all types of shit. Like, Twister was my nigga at one point in time. Like, still is. But like, at that time, like, bro, motherfuckers couldn't tell me shit about no motherfucking Twister, bro. Like, and so, but the East Coast niggas opened me up. Niggas like Jaded. Big Pun. Big Pun is the motherfucker that really opened me up mentally to the point to where I realized how far I could stretch this rap shit and where I could go with the flow. Because when I heard that in the middle, a little Italy, little did we know that we was a middleman who didn't do that. When I heard that shit, I'm like,
he went crazy on that shit.
What the fuck, bro? Like, what the fuck, fam? Like, I didn't know what that nigga said for like 2 years.
Right, exactly.
Like, I saw it in like, I don't know if it was Source or Double XL. Like, I was in a grocery store with my OG, and you know, whoever had quotable of the month, I think it was the Source. I think Double XL started doing some shit like that too, or whatever. But it was one of the two, and the fact that I could just read these lyrics and see what the fuck he's saying, I'm like, oh my god. And them shits used to be like, I think like $8 back in the day, or some crazy $5, something like that. I'm like, Mama, you gotta buy me this shit. Like I need this magazine. So she got me the magazine and shit, and I was just like stuck. And that was around the era of LimeWire, because Capital Punishment came out in '98, but I got on late. I ain't get on to Capital Punishment. Probably I didn't really start getting a bunch of music into the era of LimeWire because I didn't have money to buy CDs. She wasn't breaking me off with bread to get shit like that. And plus, even when I could buy shit, she made me buy edited shit, and I hated that shit. I couldn't listen to no cursing music. So I hated that shit, bro. I had motherfucking what was Juvenile second CD on Cash Money? G Code. I had G Code edited to the motherfucker. I hated that shit.
It wasn't no point at that point.
Don't even listen to it, right?
Ain't even no point.
Bro, I had Nas I Am edited. That's how I got on Nas I Am. Like I missed the initial Illmatic wave. It was written, but going back, I'm like, bro, this nigga is incredible. You know what I'm saying? Like Nas is my favorite MC, like dead or alive. You know what I'm saying? It probably would have been big had he been able to live and create more, because Big did so much in so short of amount of time. But after all these years growing with Esco and listening to his developments and his transitions and seeing who he is as the artist he is today, like it's Esco, hands down for me. But yeah, man, them East Coast niggas really taught me how to rap. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like I knew how to rap, but New York niggas definitely taught me how to rap. So yeah, man, like, and then going from there, to like trying to get my shit on the internet, like fast forwarding a little bit, like the internet, the blog era in Chicago started booming probably around like, I don't say what, 08, maybe
Something
some shit
like
like
that.
that,
Who was it?
09.
Was it Fake Shore Drive? Was that like the
Big
first
Short
one?
Drive. I don't
Yeah.
know if they was the first, but I know after a while they was like the most popular. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Okay.
So I can remember trying to like, all right, is my shit good enough? Do it sound good enough? You know what I'm saying? Who do I go to? How do I do this? Excuse me, a whole bunch of questions. And it's like around 2010, I put out a project called Music of the Mind under different names, like different names and shit, in 2009. And shout out my homie Infamous, man, rest in peace. Infamous, it was a group called Black Table Committee. Him and his brother King Genius. King Genius now go by Cliff Clouds. Shout out to homie Fable, Westside shit. Like he introduced me to them. That's how I met them. They all cousins and shit. It was fully produced by my dude Infamous. And for the people that heard it, it wasn't big or nothing, but for the people that heard it, like it was fucking with it. You know what I'm saying? Like it got the attention of the homie Bundy from Only for the Real. You know what I'm saying? Shout out them over there. And after that, I ended up, I don't know how, but I didn't get in contact with my homie Quick. Shout out Quick. You know what I'm saying? He was working on some shit called the Intervention, you know, which was a large ass collective of like artists, whether you rap, sing, producers, videographers, potential managers, just like all types of different types of creatives. And it was a gang of us. We was deep as hell. And I started fucking with them around like 2010, 2011, something like that. And I was putting out music with them. Time went on, certain motherfuckers started going their own ways. I probably stopped doing the intervention thing around 20, 2012, 2013, around that time. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. But just basically finding my way through this internet shit and through the internet stage with the music. So got out of that, and I'm still making music, but I ain't making no type of progression. I ain't really moving. You know what I'm saying? It's the same cycle. And that's the time why I had a lot of fucking excuses too. I wasn't my better self. I was going through a lot personally. I was just like frustrated, you know what I'm saying, with my personal life, with the route music was going, you know what I'm saying? By that time, shit, the South had already been dominating shit. Like lyrical shit was getting more and more pushed to the back. And I just was unhappy with the current state of music at the time. So I was still doing my shit. And I remember like the last 3 joints I made before I quit in like 2016. They was real like trap influence, like to a degree. It wasn't all trap. One of them was super trap influence, and one of them I was going heavy with melody. You know what I'm saying? It was still bars in it, but I was trying to incorporate other shit, because Drake was already out by then. And it's just like my energy was off because it's like now I feel like I'm chasing something. You know what I'm saying? It's like this ain't me. And no disrespect. If you know how to do it, and they was decent songs. I feel like they was decent, but they just wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? Like Drake got the melodic shit on lock. This is early Drake. You know what I'm saying? He got that shit on lock. That's his wave. Like all these motherfuckers doing trap, I don't want to sound like that. So it was just a bunch of thoughts going on in my head, and I was just like over this shit. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm gonna work a gig. You know what I'm saying? Like this shit ain't gonna happen.
Right.
I don't know why the fuck I could thought that, bro. Like I work and I keep consistent. You know what I'm saying? I work consistently. But the older I get, the more I realize that shit ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just not set up for you to really succeed off of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I end up coming back in like the end of 2019, and I did a series of like freestyles, like sitting in my car just rapping over some of my favorite instrumentals and shit, like older shit. And it was them Griselda niggas that inspired me to come back because I seen I think it was a show off radio freestyle with Conway and Benny with Static Selector. Excuse me. And The nigga, it was the clip where Conway was going off, talking about the battle rappers, you know what I'm saying, calling them out by name. I'm like, bro, this nigga going crazy. And then I started hearing the Griselda name more and more. I'm like, damn, y'all like this shit? Like, where the fuck I been at? You know what I'm saying? I must have been under a rock because I'm like, y'all like this shit again? Y'all actually like niggas that rap again? So I'm like, okay, bet. So that instantly put a battery in my back. You know what I'm saying? Because I would write here and there, but I never had no intentions on trying to record it or no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So I started doing a little freestyle. So like, all right, it's been a couple years, but I ain't finna put out no music. I ain't really had no plugs. Like the engineer I was fucking with had moved on to bigger and better situations. Like I ain't had nobody to get beats from. Like I was kind of like just out. Well, I had motherfuckers, but it was like I was still second guessing it. So I put out a freestyle over this nigga Benny the Butcher. No, it wasn't over his beat. It was influenced by a song 97 Hove from Tana Talk 3. That was one of my favorite shits from that project. So I put out a freestyle called 96 Nas. Again, Nas being my favorite rapper and all that shit. Not like challenging him or trying to diss him, but just like in response, influenced by, inspired by. So, you know, I was like adding him into the shit, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to get him to bite, you know what I'm saying? To see if he'll retweet the shit. And the nigga actually retweeted it. You know what I'm saying? So like that shit made waves on Twitter for a little while or whatever. And I got introduced to the homie GQ the teacher off that shit. Like he got, you know what I'm saying, a relationship with them niggas. So he called him like, bro, who was buddy you just retweeting this shit? Like, nigga, you from around your way. You from Chicago. You don't know him? And like so many motherfuckers was like, bro, it's crazy to me that I never heard you before, know who the fuck you are, being that you from Chicago. But I'll be able to tell motherfuckers that's on me. I wasn't outside. Like I was trying to make my shit happen from behind the desktop. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't out and about because, you know, I'm an introvert, semi-social. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people just come with bullshit, bro. You know what I'm saying? And being from the hood and like I analyze people. I just watch people sometimes and like just like certain characters and characteristics, and that's why don't shit really bother me today, because when you from a place, when you from the hood, it's like you see some of everybody. You see the righteous, you see the good, you see the bad, you see the indifferent, you see the struggle, you see a lot of shit, and you kind of see why certain people do certain types of shit. So I really don't shit really surprise me. So you know what I'm saying? I be telling motherfuckers that, bro, that's my fault that you don't know who I am. I wasn't outside performing. I wasn't doing shows. Like I wasn't rubbing shoulders. I wasn't networking. That was all on me. I just wanted to make the music and I wanted motherfuckers to love it. You know what I'm saying? So fast forward, a lot of, you know what I'm saying, connections was made off of that shit. Hooked up with my nigga Dr. Mountain Bender, who produced not my last, but my second to last project, Hell's Angels and Heaven's Demons. He produced that in its entirety. He also my primary engineer. So shout out him, Grindhouse. And I got with a click, Filthy Analects Record Company. You know what I'm saying? A small Chicago-based label. Shout out to K. You know what I'm saying? Shout out the whole squad, DJ Shondo, all them over there. And that came about with like my second project back. But yeah, after the freestyles or whatever, that particular one, the Benny joint, like that shit went crazy for a little while. Motherfuckers started reaching out and shit. That just led to where I'm at right now.
Okay. Yeah, man. I mean, everybody got a story. Everybody got a journey and shit they got to go through. But definitely when I hear your shit, I mean, I can tell that, you know, regardless if you pushed it the way you should have or was out, you know, getting out the way you should have or not, I can tell it's from a veteran pen. Like it sounds like you've been here before doing this shit. Like the shit is quality. You know what I mean?
Gratitude.
Yeah. I was definitely impressed. So tell me about Murder Castle.
So yeah, Murder Castle, that's the last project I just put out with the homie the Black Depths. You know, my projects, all four of my projects coming back, they've been promoted as collaborative projects because they all have been produced by one producer. So each one is produced by a different producer. And the Black Depths, I got wind of him, I want to say around either late 2020 or early 2021. That's when I started, you know what I'm saying, hearing this shit. And his shit he used this machine called an EPS. And me, I write the bars. I'm the rapper. Like, I don't know nothing about, I just know the MPC because that shit is so famous. I just know that shit. But like anything else, like bro, I'm not the nigga to ask. I don't know. I'm just gonna get on this mic and do what I do. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
he was using a machine called the EPS, and unbeknown to me, like 94 to like 97, RZA is my favorite producer of all time. Like anywhere from 94 to 97, RZA, favorite producer of all time. He was giving me heavy RZA vibes off the joint because he was putting up his little his videos of him making beats, and he also do his like a little weekly freestyle series too over his own beats. So I'm like, bro, this nigga raw. Like I gotta get some work in with him. Like he cold as hell. So I can't remember if he reached out to me or if I reached out to him. I want to say I reached out to him. And I'm like, bro, we gotta work, man. Like I'm a fan of your shit. Like everything, everything you've been doing, like been going crazy. Like what's to it? Like how can we make this happen? And we chopped it up and we started writing. He started sending me shit, and like damn near everything he was sending was like, because I'm super picky. I'm picky as hell. Anybody will tell you. The beat picking process, I'm super picky because I feel like I used to be the nigga to pride itself to rap to any and everything. Now it's like that shit gotta speak to me. If I gotta sit there and think too hard and force it, I'm not gonna like it. So it's probably not gonna see the light of day. If the beat just pulls the emotion and the story or whatever the fuck about me, then I know we got something. But like everything he was sending was slapping. So he hit me up midway through the writing process, like, what if we call this shit Murder Castle? I'm like, all right, fuck is that? He was like, you familiar with H.H. Holmes? I'm like, no, not really. But after I read about the shit, I remember, okay, like I heard the dude as in the story like a long time ago, but I forgot about it. So he like looked that shit up. So the Black Depths, I think he originally from DC, but grew up in Fort Worth, Texas. So that's basically a Texas motherfucker making that shit sounding like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So I looked it up, H.H. Holmes, Murder Castle, and all that shit. I'm like, oh shit, it's cold as hell. I know how I could flip this. So basically, for those that don't know, H.H. Holmes is given the infamy of being America's first serial killer. Before him, it was only Jack the Ripper. That shit was out in like London or some shit. So yeah, he's given the infamy of being America's first serial killer. And whole time, the actual Murder Castle is the post office on like 63rd in Inglewood. Like that spot is the Murder Castle and shit. You know what I'm saying? So he owned this mini mansion, they like to call it, but it doubled as like a motel, whichever one it was. And this was during like the late 1800s, the time of the World Fair. They had the World Fair here in Chicago, and motherfuckers from everywhere was coming here. So for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying, I ain't read too much about him, you know what I'm saying, but this motherfucker had like trap rooms inside of rooms, like trap doors, like all torture rooms, like all types of silly, crazy ass shit. And he was like killing motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And I basically just took that and applied it to the project as in, okay, the total body of work, the project is the Murder Castle. Each joint is like a torture chamber or a different room. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta navigate through that motherfucker. And if you make it out alive, congratulations. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking my shit heavy on there. Like, if you familiar with my discography, like the last couple projects I put out has been heavy content based. Like, cause with the pandemic, during the pandemic, it was a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shit. If it wasn't no racist shit, like it was just a lot of shit. The George Floyd shit, like a bunch of shit. You know what I'm saying? So, that shit was built up aggression that I was able to let out via the music as far as the eternal reflection and Hell's Angels and Heaven's Demons. With this shit, I don't want to stay in that space because that shit is depressing. You know what I'm saying? So even though the music is good and they make for great content, mentally that shit takes a toll on me when I create those type of joints. Like the joint that I made a joint for the second project, The Eternal Reflection, produced entirely by Custom Made, called Good Die Young. And it's a story about a motherfucker being out for revenge because a motherfucker killed his guy. So he want to go get retribution. He slide and he end up killing a shorty in the process. I had my oldest son rap the verse. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit took me a minute to like decide on whether or not if I wanted my shorty to fuck around with that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I looked at it as a moment like Nas and his pops, you know what I'm saying, on the song Bridging the Gap, or how he had his pops play the saxophone on Life's a Bitch. I looked at it as one of them type of moments. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we not in that type of environment. Fuck it, I'm gonna do it. And it came out dope. I wrote the verse and he delivered that shit, you know what I'm saying, very well. You know what I'm saying? So just doing a little creative shit like that, but those type of records take a toll mentally. So for this project, for Murder Castle, I just wanted to get back to the basics and show motherfuckers like, no, nigga, I really rap. Yes, I have content. Yes, I'm a complete artist, but I will shred your fucking favorite MC. I don't give a fuck who this nigga is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like, and it's not just a sense of cockiness. You know how niggas say I put in my 10,000 hours, nigga. I put in my 20,000 hours. I've been rapping for more than 20 years, bro. You not gonna sit here and force me to eat humble pie through the music because I'm not on yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm much more humble in person in regular conversation, but in the music, I'm gonna let my nuts hang. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I am. So I just wanted to make a statement with that shit. Like, yes, I'm an artist. Yes, I could tell stories. Yes, I could do this. I could do that. But I could still burn a fucking booth down too, bro. Like, don't ever forget that. Like, I'm an MC. You know what I'm saying? So that was the whole premise of Murder Castle and how we put that one together. Shout out to Black Depths.
Okay. Yeah, no, man, I agree with you, man. Definitely the most talented niggas are not on the radio. You know what I mean? They just not. Like, the whether they known or not known, my favorite motherfuckers are just not on the radio. It's just the true lyrical people that really care about the art and try to represent it. And I think that's another thing too, kind of getting back to like the shorties. Like, I think like niggas our age, we came up in a time where it's like we were trying to impress the listener. We cared. We wanted a motherfucker when we spit them bars to make the ugly face like, oh shit, like nigga. Like the like the youngest, they don't care about that shit. They don't care if you impressed, if you like it, whatever. Nigga, if I can get popular on YouTube, because half of the art is honestly, like I said, social media is definitely the gift and the curse. It's a whole bunch of people that through their antics, personality, looks, different things like that, personas, they got on musically through social media. They doing music, but they're not the most talented. So they got on through they doing music, but they used everything else but the skill and the music to get them there. You know
It's
what I
just a
mean?
catalyst. It's just a catalyst. It's just a it's a status symbol. You know, they like we was having this discussion on earlier podcast. They want to do everything. They want everything that's associated with being a rapper without having to do the actual rapper to do the quality type of content. So it's almost like I've always described it as niggas looking at it as it's just a get rich quick scheme for niggas in the most convenient way possible for them to get the women, for them to get the lifestyle, for them to get all the adoration and love from people. And the easiest, quickest way that a nigga can think to do that outside of drugs or scamming or, being a street nigga is just to rap. And if you can get that and you can get and do something that's at least catchy that you can get people singing or bopping in the club or something like that, that's they good with that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree 100%. On the flip side of it, though, I would add artists like myself. I feel like that it helps us to a certain degree. Like, challenges us to a certain degree, because out of that, if you look at, all right, let's just look at who we look at as some legendary artists. You got, like, let's take niggas like Nas, let's take Jay-Z, shit, even before them, let's take Rakim, let's take Cool G Rap. Let's just take them four. You know what I'm saying? We could throw Kane in there, let's just take them five. Even though they two different generations, why they did what they did is kind of similar. They was in competition with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, they wanted to make the best shit, and they knew the caliber of MC that the other motherfuckers around them was. So it was no other. Like, platinum wasn't even really a thing at the time. Well, it was later on, but it was achieved so, like, it ain't too many motherfuckers that was going platinum. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, it wasn't financially driven to make the best shit. It was deep down in a part of the art. I want to make the best shit I possibly can. Now, with niggas like me in this day and age, we well aware that we have to get through all that bullshit even to get to your ear. We have to make it through the wave of motherfuckers with the colorful hair who ain't really saying shit, who might just have some decent ass production and just yelling a bunch of shit. We got to make it through the motherfuckers who more talented than them, but still not really saying too much, but they got that infectious ass, that contagious ass vibe to their music. You know what I'm saying? They might not be heavy bar driven, but they know how to create a song, whether they melodic, they just know how to put their shit together. Then you take the fact that the broke ain't gonna make it in this shit. Like, you have to invest in yourself. Like, the broke is not finna make it far in this shit. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to have a bag, but you have to have some sort of source of funding to even be at the door. You know what I'm saying? So you take those three things, and there's other shit that I could probably throw in there, and you look at that shit, and you still banking on your talent though. For me, I'm still banking on my talent. That could potentially force me to make some of the most incredible shit ever heard, period, from any generation. And I'm not looking at that as necessarily a win for myself. That's a win for the listeners. That's a win for the culture, because now that the purity, the artisticness of it thrives. It continues to live. We ain't seen a golden age of rap probably since the mid to late 90s. That was probably the early 2000s, mid to late 90s to the early 2000s. That was the last golden era. You know what I'm saying? Ain't been one since then. And we about due for another one. I'm not saying I'm going to be a part of that. I'm trying to be out here, you know what I'm saying? But it might not happen to another 10 years down the line. But what I'm saying is, like, all these circumstances and these little nuances and all this miscellaneous shit that's steady being thrown in the game, keeping the motherfucker from, you know what I'm saying, getting to the destination. It's like, it's making it tougher, but at the same time, for the motherfuckers that's up for the challenge, they gonna fuck around and make some super incredible shit that could potentially rival the shit that we won't allow another motherfucker to touch. A motherfucker might come make some shit that's almost or as good as an Illmatic. A motherfucker might come make some shit that's as good as a fucking death certificate. It might not be in the same vein of content, but just like the music and the impact it has, because there's so much shit being thrown in the game. You know what I'm saying? And this motherfuckers out here still living life. A lot of this shit is manufactured. A lot of this shit is microwave because of the internet and social media, but it's still shit to talk about out here. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, as the artist, it's about how you look at the shit. Like, I tend to now these days look more towards the positive. And I know that shit sound corny. I used to hate hearing that shit, but that shit is true. I look more towards the positives and shit, and seeing how I could make shit work to my advantage, seeing how I could grab something and allow it to help me instead of hindering me. You know what I'm saying? Because if you look at it, shit, it's a hindrance shit at every turn. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is not for the faint of heart. Like, I'm 36 and ain't made it yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this shit is not for the faint of heart. But at the same time, I understand my path and my journey. I'm not looking for mainstream success. Like, I have no mainstream aspirations at all. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking for no A&Rs, no record execs, no labels, because I understand my sound of music is not popping in that world. Like, let the little babies and the babies and the Yachties and the Uzi Verts and the Gunners and whoever else running that shit over there. Cool. I understand it. I respect it. I'm over here. My thing is the Griseldas, the Rock Marcies, the Flea Lords, the Ransoms, you know what I'm saying? The this ones, the that ones, like the Sky Zoos. That's my demographic over there. And we've seen these Griselda, well, they have had some major industry backing now, but even before the Shady deal and the Rock Nation cosign, them niggas was walking around with their necks looking like Migos. So we understand the money is not that far. It's not that much of a difference between the money. Why? Because they getting a major industry bag over here, but these niggas putting out merch. Hoodies going for $60, $70, $80. Vinyl records going for fucking $50, $60. Then you got the music yourself, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, motherfuckers don't understand. It's a whole industry of commerce over here in this underground rap shit. It's not just a bunch of words being strung together, trying to sound intelligent. Like, that's not what it is. Like, and I don't even think of underground as having to be lyrical. I feel like the underground has always been, it's just always been ran by lyrical motherfuckers, but the underground was always just a way to express yourself outside of the confines of the mainstream, because we spoke on it earlier. The ageism shit. That shit wasn't created in the streets. The streets ain't say hip hop is a young man's game. The industry said that.
100%.
The industry told you couldn't be 30 and put out your debut album.
Right.
The industry said that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I never really, even as a shorty, I never agreed with hip hop being a young man's game. Like I understood what the fuck it maybe could have meant, because they had it to where you had to be a certain age to be able to pop. And that's just goofy. Like, you mean to tell me it ain't no talented 30 plus motherfuckers out here, bro?
Yeah, exactly.
Like the oldest motherfuckers to drop a debut album was who? Like Jay and X. Jay was 26. I think so. X was like 27 when he dropped his Dark and Hell is Hot, maybe 28.
He was 28. Yep.
So it's like, bro, like, come on, man. Like, that's just goofy shit. It don't even make sense. It's not even common sense. It's just something that it's like government, like how government puts certain shit in place that should feed their agenda. The mainstream industry, you know what I'm saying? That to me, that's a form of government. You know what I'm saying? They got rules in place that's going to help their agenda and serve their purpose. Because if we get you at a young age, we can mold you and we can dispose of your ass. And you don't know what the fuck is going on. You know what I'm saying? So it just is what it is.
Yeah, definitely. So do you prefer, I noticed like you were speaking on like your projects, the ones I seen, the ones I checked out, I noticed all of them were, like you said, joint projects that you was working with one producer. Is that like a theme that you're going to continue to go with, or are you open to work with other producers, or you just want to kind of stick with that theme where you just, the whole project is with one producer?
For now, it serves its purpose. I think I'm gonna continue to fuck with that. I am definitely gonna start doing projects to where it's multiple producers. Like that shit started out as some financial shit, bro. Like it's very hard. I'm the type of motherfucker I like to put a lot into my shit. So I want to shoot at least a video or two. You know what I'm saying? I got studio time. You know what I'm saying? I want to do quality shit.
Okay.
It's just unfeasible for me to be paying 12 producers $300 a pop. It's just unfeasible. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was kind of like, and I'm never the type of nigga I'm not one of them rappers to where I feel like the producer don't deserve to be paid. It's just the fact that I cannot pay 12 of you niggas $300 a piece. You know what I'm saying? And still do everything else I want to do. You know what I'm saying? That's all I had to worry about. Cool. You know what I'm saying? But I'm an artist. Like, I try to do shit that's going to engage you and make you want to listen to the music. So it's much easier for me to find a producer that's somewhere on my level. I'm not reaching out, of course, to no big producers with this shit and try to say, bro, fuck with me. We split everything 50-50 down the middle. You know what I'm saying? And it's not much. I have to let them know out the gate. It ain't much, bro. I'm not out here making thousands and thousands of dollars off music, because if that's the case, I would have it to go pay 12 different niggas $300-400 a pop. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still at the beginning stages of this shit to my own fault. So it's like, a lot of the motherfuckers that do it, it's not even really a money thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not begging nobody, and we barter for certain shit too. Everything just ain't about the exchanging of money. We barter for certain shit too. Some producers might be working on a project different with various artists. Just throw me a verse for the free. I got you, bro. Just do this for me. Get me in tune with this artist. Get me in tune with that one. Because I know a lot of fucking artists. Like a lot of my friends or associates is all through music. So it started out as just like something to give me some financial relief. Because again, being an entrepreneur and this shit, like this shit is tough. And you know, it's a little undertone beef between rappers and producers. More so, I feel like it's more so rappers that's like they be trying to lease the beats and shit, but they end up stealing them and shit like that, ripping them over YouTube and shit like that. But it's like, I just hope producers don't look at every rapper like that. You know what I'm saying? There's motherfuckers that's out here that do want to do good business, but you gotta look at the shit too, bro. Like, and I'm not asking a nigga to do nothing that they don't want to do. Like, that ain't my thing. Like, I'm not gonna try to talk you down off your price. None of that shit. If I can't afford your services, you entitled to every cent of whatever the fuck you set your price to be. That's why I hate when niggas try to talk me down if I give them a price for a verse. I ain't out here trying to tax an arm and a leg, but I feel like you can't put a fucking dollar amount on talent. You know what I'm saying? Like, you your own business, you your own entity. You know what I'm saying? You set your price. But yeah, that shit just started out as some financial shit, but it grew to be it's dope, because once I realized that that's kind of how like hip hop and rap started out, the DJ and just the MC, I'm like, this shit is right up my alley. It's only fitting. You know what I'm saying? So I'll eventually get into that phase where I'm doing projects where it's multiple producers, but I'm gonna just keep it like this from now for right now.
Okay. No, and personally, like I like that because it kind of how can I say it? It makes the project more cohesive. You know what I'm
I hear that
saying?
a lot. I hear that a
Yeah,
lot.
it makes it more cohesive. It helps you to kind of establish your brand and your sound a little bit better. You know what I mean? So
And they
yeah,
get a producer opportunity to shine too. Like when it's 12 different producers, it's kind of like, okay, who produced this? Who produced that? Who produced that? Like, I'm not nobody that's big enough to be able to put a motherfucker on, so to speak. But at the same time, my base is now in tune with who the fuck you are as a producer. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I got motherfuckers shouting out the producers just as much as they, you know what I'm saying, shouting me out for what I did on the project. So it's, I feel like I always want to try to highlight a motherfucker who putting in work on my shit. Like a lot of niggas shoot videos and then they just put the name of it. Like I like to put the director's name in the title, you know what I'm saying, of the shit on YouTube so you know who shot it. You might be an artist, you might not even be an artist. You might just want them to film something else. It just might look clean to you. And you're like, oh shit, who was that? I want to fuck with them. So at least now you got a name. Like I just like to give motherfuckers they just do. It's not like I'm trying to say I'm big enough, bro, you're gonna get the exposure. It's not that, because honestly, it's not gonna be a lot of exposure. But just like how my name is there listed, nigga, your name gonna be there listed too. And if
right,
it is motherfuckers out there that's in tune and listening and want to know, because I'm a credit baby. I come from reading credits from the booklet and everything, want to know who doing what. So if it's motherfuckers that's still out there like that, they have an opportunity to know who this motherfucker is. Like the producer is an artist too, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not just a motherfucker sitting behind a beat machine or whatever, you know what I'm saying, tapping keys and shit. Like they deserve they fucking credit too, as well as deserve to be paid. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's just that's just how I go about the shit.
It's real shit.
Yeah, shouts out to Doc Mindbender too. So
Yeah.
he dope as hell on the beats. I got familiar with him. I heard a project he did with who was what is it? With Vic Spencer.
Yeah, so that's bro. That's with both of them the bros. Shout out Vic, shout out Doc. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna try to get him on the pod as well, Vic Spencer. So I was having a conversation with one of my business partners or whatever, and this nigga thought I was talking about Vic
Big
Mensa.
Mensa. Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, I can understand how they can probably get mixed up because it's damn near off the tongue. It sound damn near the same. I was
Right.
like, no, it ain't Vic Mensa, nigga. I was like, this is Vic Spencer. He's a completely separate nigga
Yeah.
because I let him hear it. He was like, damn, Vic Mensa on some straight hip hop ass shit. I was like, nah, bro, this ain't
Yeah,
this
that's
ain't
big.
him.
That's the
Yeah.
rapping bastard right there, man.
Yeah, dude is cold as hell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
shout out,
yeah.
bro. He definitely raw as hell. And
That's
it's a bunch of us, man. Like, let me put that out there real quick. Like, man, if anybody out there listening to this shit decide to, you know what I'm saying, or watching this shit decide to go listen to my music, just know whether you from inside the city or from outside somewhere else. If you like what the fuck I'm doing, you gonna love these other motherfuckers. It is a gang. Like how motherfuckers said it in the beginning, you know what I'm saying, of the podcast, bro. Like it's a gang us out here. You know what I'm saying? It's
gang
not
of
just
y'all.
me. It's not just me. You got motherfuckers like Vic Spencer. You got motherfuckers like Water, Waterr. You got motherfuckers like the Immortal Griffin. This nigga been doing it forever. Signed with Face Mob, all types of shit. Motherfucking you got Fillmore Green. That's another one of the bros. You know what I'm saying? You got
Oh, yes.
Fable. You got Sense 9-6. You know what I'm saying? You got Neek. You got motherfucking you got Brittany Carter. You know what I'm saying? Like you got Olive Blue. She a dope ass vocalist. Like you got motherfucking AM Early Morning. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so many of us, bro. Like it's so many motherfuckers. Like Chicago has its own underground hip hop scene. Like we have our
100%.
own shit. Like if you like them Rochester and them Buffalo niggas, shout out to them because they open the shit the fuck up. But we just as nice out here, bro. Like we just as nice out here, and it's up to us to continue to work together and build this shit. But you know what I'm saying? Like I really be feeling like 3 stacks sometimes. Like nigga, Chicago got something to say. Like we ain't all drilling out this motherfucker, bro. Like that's
Man,
not the whole shot. You know what I'm saying? So motherfuckers gonna see sooner or later though, because we pushing that line heavy and we continuously. I know I'm continuously letting motherfuckers know what Chicago. Like one of my hashtags I use on social media is Chicago never forgot how to rap. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, dope.
yeah, Chicago never forgot how to rap because I feel like niggas really forgot. Like they feel like we ain't like had spitters since like Lupe, Common, Twister. Like what, nigga? Like we super roll around this motherfucker. Like that shit ain't never went nowhere.
Hey, and I co-sign that, bro. Like, and it's not even about me, being from the area. I've been saying that, like, low Chicago really runs hip hop when it really comes to the essence of it. It, like you
Facts.
said, it's so many. Man, you just reminded me. Shout out to Neek. I ain't seen that dude in a minute. He used to be raw ass visuals, super
Mm-hmm.
creative.
Yep.
Yeah, shout out to Neek. Uh, yeah, man. So speaking of Chicago, man, before we get out of here, I just wanna. So I'm gonna ask you about certain Chicago artists, and you just tell me, uh, basically what's your preference between the two artists that I named. But all these artists are Chicago artists.
Bet.
So, uh, between who you feel between, which you probably feel both of these guys, but like I said, just who's your favorite between the two. So I'm gonna start off with Lupe or Common.
Mm,
No, that's a hard one.
facts. Damn, man. See, Common is so fucking consistent, but I'm gonna say Lou just because, like, bro, them first two, Food and Liquor, and we ain't even get the real Food and Liquor. That shit, he had to redo that shit because the original shit leaked. But Food and
Mm,
Liquor and the Cool, I know a lot of niggas be jacking Tetso in youth, but I stopped kind of fucking with Lupe a little ways after, you know what I'm saying, after the fact. But I gotta go with Lou. I love Common, OG, but just the Cool and Food and Liquor. Nah, bro.
okay. Okay, for sure.
You gotta give it to Lou.
All right. What about between psychodrama or do or die?
Mm. I love to do or die, but I gotta go psychodrama. That nigga Buck, that interview y'all did with Buck is what put me on to y'all shit, y'all demonstration. Shout out
Okay.
Direct. Shout out
Okay.
Okay.
Direct, because
Good
Direct
shit.
posted a
Good
clip
shit.
on IG. You know what I'm saying? You know, Direct, he Drama Ward, he fuck with all them. You know,
Oh,
shout
for
out the
sure.
old Drama Ward. Shout out Color One, Matt's crew, that's throwback. You know what I'm saying? Mastered all that shit crew. Shout them out, man, because like they was like on some Chicago Wu-Tang shit, just like Ill State Assassin. Shout out Ill State, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I know all them derived from Matt's crew, you know what I'm saying? Drama War basically is an evolution of Matt's crew, you know what I'm saying? So I gotta take Psychodrama on that shit. Like, man, like I can remember as a shorty hearing Magic bumping around the city. But nigga,
Man.
when that Universal Sessions came out, that shit with Mike Love,
Yeah.
bro, I had that shit on repeat. That was like when Bump J was out doing this shit too, early 2000s, like Goon Squad shit. But like, nigga, I had that shit. We was slamming that shit, man. And that's what I mean, like when I said the Jeezy shit, because it's like we went from that to that real quick. But I love Jeezy now. Like,
Right.
I end up loving this music, you know what I'm saying? But definitely Psychodrama on that
Okay, for sure. Yeah. Shouts out to psychodrama shit.
one. Facts.
Bug, Noya, Side, all that stuff.
Too
Yeah,
much for
shout
the
out
industry to handle, goddamn it.
for sure.
Motherfuckers still out here listening.
So what about between Open Mike Eagle or Mick Jenkins?
I ain't even familiar with Open Mike Eagle.
Mm,
Um, so shit, he got to be Mick by default because I know who Mick is. I know
okay.
who Mick is. Who Mick is. Yeah, I ain't never heard of Buddy though.
So I and that's why I put that in there because I noticed like a lot of people don't know that dude. So he very how can I explain his shit? He definitely very hip hop, very lyrical, very creative. Definitely a little bit more on the weirder side. If
Okay,
you
kind
know
of like
who
Fat Lip, Far Side type shit.
yeah, kind of in that
Girl
vein.
sweatshirt, kind of.
Yeah, yeah, a little
Okay,
bit of that shit. Yeah, yeah. And then musically, he's been active. He put out projects here and there. He kind of branched out. So it was a show on damn, what was that show on? Was it on Comedy Central? Just maybe like a year or two ago. I don't know if they're gonna renew it for a new season, but they had a couple seasons.
right.
So it was a show called The New Negroes.
Oh
So
shit.
with this show, Open Mike Eagle, he basically partnered up with this one comedian guy, black comedian. Can't remember his name because I just got really put on to the show like a month or so ago.
Right.
But they basically partnered up and did this show where they would do a few little skits here and there. They would have comedians on there and shit. I mean, it was a dope ass format, but the shit was on like I want to say I saw that shit on like a Paramount Plus or something like that. So I don't know if it was on like MTV or Comedy Central or something like that. So he kind
Okay.
of branching out, still doing the music, but he branching out doing, more TV shit like that.
You
But
said his
but he
name Open Mike Eagle.
yeah, Open Mike Eagle, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to tap in and check him out.
Yeah, he's dope. So what about King Louis or Bump J?
Bump. Bro,
Bump, you
that
gotta go
Goon
Bump.
Squad era.
Okay.
Goon Squad era, man, what?
Okay.
Man, the first shit I heard from Bump, that hey Joe, where you going with that gun in your hand? Hey, that nigga Bump, Brains Hustler, and Slap Polaroid. All them niggas, that trio. I wish like a motherfucker them niggas would have got on. I don't know how true it is, but I heard that Rockefeller was trying to snatch up Sly. And he was like, man, if it ain't Goon Squad, it ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? But them three niggas right there, I know they had other motherfuckers with them, but them three, it ain't too much from the city that came out that I'm gonna put against Bump.
Okay, for sure. The Brat or Shauna? That's another hard one. Yeah.
That's fucked up, Drew.
Yeah,
That's
I know it is.
I'm gonna have to go with Shauna though. Shauna is a fucking demon. I'm talking about fucking so many niggas. Like, bro, I'm definitely gonna get one in with Shauna, and when I do, niggas gonna hate me because I'm talking about
stupid.
Shit.
Yeah,
and man, Shauna's so motherfucking cold, and she so talking about getting better with time. She fine as fuck, like Shauna,
sexy as fuck.
Hey,
yes,
damn, Shauna, you doing it right. Keep putting on. Fucking me, shit.
Definitely. So next is Keith or Dirk.
Keith or Dirk?
What are you gonna say?
Hey, low key, I'm gonna go Keith, and the only reason I'm going Keith is because he started this shit. He opened it up.
You really
did. Dirk just he carrying on. You know what I'm saying? He Dirk doing him. Dirk is the face of Chicago right now. If motherfuckers talking about Chicago, motherfuckers definitely talking about Dirk. It was Herbo for a minute. He been chilling though, living his life. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely Dirkio out here doing his numbers, but I gotta go with Keith. I mean, shit, the Kanye West shit, the Don't Like remix. You know, even though he ain't really been putting out shit, like when Keith was out here, he was out here.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Shout out to my guy DJ Reese. He the tour DJ for Dirk.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go with Chance the Rapper, or Super BWE.
Superboy. I ain't never really heard too much of their shit. What was the name of the group?
I cannot remember.
It's the name. It's the name of the group though.
Because I started fucking
really
with the group,
shit.
but I gravitated more towards his solo efforts or whatever. Because he another one. He be on that weird shit, but man, he ties it in. It's dope as hell.
Hey, don't fuck with Buddy though. He be laying motherfuckers out from what I heard.
Okay. Oh shit.
No, but I'm gonna have to go Chance just because I'm not that familiar with his music. I can't remember. I remember like around 20. This is around the time that I stopped rapping. Around 20 something. It was after 2010. Around the time they was like him and his group. They was like heavy. Like I see their name everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like they was everywhere. I can't remember the name of the group, but I think that BWE shit. I think it's pronounced Superboy.
That's what I think it is.
Yeah, I think you're a part of a group though. You know what I'm saying? But this another one of them by default joints. Like I'm more familiar with Chance shit. Like I was rocking with Chance for a good little minute. That 10-day, that was my shit. Like acid rap, it was all right. I ain't really rock with too much after that, but I gotta go Chance just by default.
Okay, for sure. Now the next one, I'm speaking on this one just from a production standpoint. Okay. So, Yay or No ID?
I'm going no ID though. I need to get one in. I need to get a fully produced project in with no ID before I check out this motherfucker.
Oh,
That's
that'll
my
be
goal. That's
okay.
my goal. That is my goal. That's my favorite producer from the crib. I understand. Ye has done what he's done. Shout out to legendary Traxter. I know him a little more personally than either one of them. But no ID, bro. No ID. Kind of like he's the standard. Like he kind of started the shit. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
he
Like
taught Yay. Shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
that's Yoda right there, man. I don't know where that nigga at, man. But wherever this nigga no ID at, tell him, hey, tell him Chicago's still out here, man. Got some niggas. Got some niggas looking for him. Tell him Chicago's still out here, man. Like I need to get one in with no fucking ID, man. Dion, where you at, bro? I don't
Right,
know if I'm. I
right.
don't know if I'm on that first name basis. I'm sorry, but bro, where you at, nigga? Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking for you. Like I need me a fuck a joint. I'll be happy with a joint, but fuck a joint. I need a no. I don't give a fuck if it's an EP. I need a no ID produced project before IAMGAWD puts his motherfucking mic down. For real, for real.
Hey, I could definitely see that. That'll be your
Um,
style with his beats. Yeah, that'll be some special shit. I can see that.
and I feel like he'll bring some out of me that I ain't tapped into yet. Because I still ain't feel like I've reached my peak. I feel like it's a block up there somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I think, you know what I'm saying? We'll make magic. I know we'll make magic.
Okay. Dope, dope. All right, man. So shit, before we get out of here, man, tell me a little bit about no mediocre
Yeah,
recordings. Tell
yeah.
me a little bit about that and then kind of tell me what you got coming up next.
So no mediocre, man. Like that's my first endeavor into the business side of this shit. You know, I always been an MC. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted to be a part of something, but this is my first endeavor into the business aspect. It's a label. I'm not currently really looking for no artist yet. I don't have the capacity to have nobody else's career in my hands. But I just wanted to do, you know what I'm saying, my thing real quick. I'm still a filthy Analects artist, you know what I'm saying? But Murder Castle was the first project to come out in conjunction with both of those entities. So is listed being under No Mediocre, as well as Filthy Analects Record Company. And shout out to the homie Decay, the CEO, the head of Filthy. You know, he see how proactive I am as far as how I do my shit and I put my shit together. And it came up one day and he gave me the information. You know what I'm saying? He was talking to me about how he established Filthy. So it took me a while to get to it. It kind of took some months, like a few months short of a year. You know what I'm saying? But when I thought it was going to be some drawn out, long ass process, a bunch of legal jargon that I didn't understand. So I kind of stayed away from it. I did it. Nigga, I could have did that shit in 15 minutes. Like it was that easy. And I urge anybody out there that want to start a business, whether it's just a hobby, you want to get you some income or something like that. I have it's a LLC, sole proprietorship. Like it's not hard at all. You know what I'm saying? It's not incorporated, so I can't tell you about that. It's not incorporated, but just the sole proprietorship, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's easy on the taxes, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's something dope, you know what I'm saying? It's something to call yours. But yeah, no mediocre. I'm pushing that brand super hard. And you're gonna see a lot more of that when you see me. As far as what I got coming, I'm always working, I'm always writing. I can't get too much away. It's not really that far along, but I'm always writing. So I got a couple ideas for some shit. You know what I'm saying? One of them is coming along further than the others. I'm actually working on like 3 projects right now. But my writing is so funny. I could write for like a couple days straight. Then after that, I won't write for a fucking month. You know what I'm saying? So I have to make time for it and be in the right frame of mind for me to get my best self on these joints. But I'm always working. I'm gonna try to get y'all one more before the year is out. I'm pretty confident that I should have one more out. But I don't can't say it's gonna be much more than that. I doubt very seriously if I had 2, but I'm looking to definitely get y'all one more before 2022 is over with. Then we just gonna go from there. More filthy shit. The Filthy Records compilation, the air up there. A Filthy album is out right now, streaming on all platforms. If you want to support that on Bandcamp, go to filthy.bandcamp.com. Filthy is an FILTHE. You can hit me up, nomediocre.bandcamp.com, NOMEDIOCRE, nomediocre.bandcamp.com. Yeah, Twitter, IG at GodMC, GAWDEMCEE. and just more dope shit, more raw shit, more continuation of trying to put Chicago in its proper place. You know, Chicago is. I'm not out here trying to be the man. My mission is to help and to aid and assist in Chicago being where I feel like we should be, and many others, because I feel like Chicago never really put their flag down. I mean, motherfuckers know about the career. Motherfuckers know the quality and the level of work and the great artists that we've given even before rap, from Shaka Khans to the Curtis Mayfields, the Sam Cooks. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've contributed so much. You know what I'm saying, to entertainment. You know, but it don't stop. You know what I'm saying? So just pushing the Chicago shit. That's what we on.
All right, for sure. Well, yeah, man. We definitely appreciate you, joining the pod today.
Yes, sir.
Like I say, getting the world, getting our community familiar with your movement, with your music. Uh, all I got to say, hey, y'all, I am God. If y'all really love hip hop, you love lyrical hip hop, you think it's part of the game that's missing, listen to his music. You will not be sorry. You will be impressed. One of the dopest in the game. I can honestly say that. Um, yeah, and that's it, man. Like I said,
Not to cut you off real
oh,
quick,
go
but
ahead.
I got the shirt on and shit. I ain't even been motherfucking. We ain't even break it down. Like, to break down the name for those who don't know. For those
Oh
who
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So the God, you know what I'm saying, shit is an acronym, and that's for getting ahead without devolving. You know what I'm saying? So when you put it together, it's I am getting ahead without devolving. And basically what that mean is, devolving is the opposite of evolving. When you evolve, you adapt. You know what I'm saying? You make, you know what I'm saying, use of what you got to survive in whatever particular climate you in at the time. Devolving is basically going backwards, meaning I'm not going backwards. I'm not selling myself short to get ahead. No disrespect to nobody who on that type of time, but you're not finna put me in no skirt. You're not finna have me out here with no purse. You're not finna have me out here with colorful hair. You're not finna have me out here like talking about something that I never lived. You're not finna have me under no type of agenda. I don't care which one it is, like, in order to get some sort of success. If I can't look myself in the two eyes in the mirror and be proud of how I got where I'm going, then I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. So, you know, it's a conversation starter. I ain't trying to be blasphemous or whatever. I'm more spiritual than a religious person, individual, anyway. But yeah, for those that don't know, I am God. I am getting ahead without devolving. So yes, you can also get these shirts at the Bandcamp too. Again, that's nomediocre.bandcamp.com.
Oh, okay, dope. Yeah, I didn't even know. I'm so used to, God is such a term in hip hop.
Right,
The God
right,
MC. I just
right.
chalked it up to that. So you just put okay. I didn't even know.
Yeah,
That's dope.
and
I love
I
that.
never try to act like that I'm a part of some. I'm not. I'm not God body. I'm not 5%. I'm not one of the gods. You know what I'm saying? But salute to all of them. I just want to make shit clear, so I'm not straddling the fence trying to lead you into believing that I'm something that I'm not. Like, nah, I fuck with, you know what I'm saying, a lot of their teachings and a lot of their beliefs. You know what I'm saying? But I want to make it clear that I'm not trying to ride off the 5% wave. You know what I'm saying? And straight lead nobody astray or lead nobody along or whatever. It's just acronym, because I know they big on that. The black man is God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I didn't take that from them and try to jack they shit and use it for my own. Like, honestly, before this, my name was T to God, and I was trying to, in the process of getting a trademark, but I was using a hashtag I am God with the microphone and the crown. I've been using that shit since I came back,
Mm,
and in the midst of that, I found another T to God, a nigga from, like, I think Ohio or some shit, but it was TDAGOD. My shit was TTHEGAWD. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
So the attorney told me that I should step away from the name. I'm like, damn, but I'm just coming back. I got a rebrand already. And I was already using a hashtag. It's provocative, it's a conversation starter, but it's powerful. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's like, fuck it, I'm gonna call myself I am God. You know what I'm saying? And just been rocking with it. So yeah. Little
Okay.
history, little backstory on the name real quick before we get
Hey,
up out of
that's
here. But
dope.
I
That's
appreciate
dope.
y'all having me, bro.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Definitely dope.
I'm glad you shared that story. Like I said, that was the whole purpose, to get our community, get our followers familiar. Now y'all know about the name.
Yes,
Yeah, the
sir.
man got a good head on his shoulders, intelligence, talent, flows, lyrics. Y'all get familiar with I Am God, definitely. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
appreciate you being here. Yeah, y'all get that merch, man. Definitely.
Yes,
That's a
sir.
dope ass shirt.
Gratitude, gratitude. Salute
Yeah.
to y'all, man. I fuck with what y'all doing. I'm new to the platform. but I'm here now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna definitely be tuning in and tapping into what y'all got going in the future, regardless if I'm a part of it or not.
Yes,
Again,
sir.
I got on with y'all from the Buck episode. Shout out to Direct for putting me on to it, but I'm tapped in. I appreciate y'all having me, man.
We appreciate you, big dog.
For
Yes,
sure,
sir.
for sure, all day. So y'all have been watching or listening to the Quest Convo podcast, where we talk the culture because we are the culture. And I'm your favorite hip hop connoisseur, Drew Soul Quest.
And it's still your boy Von Schuller over here.
And we are out. Y'all check us out every Friday on all the platforms at 11 a.m. every Friday. New content for you. And we out. Peace and love, y'all.
All right.
Yes, sir.